Campbell? Yeah. Thank you for that. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it just ducked, but it didn't go completely.
Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Everest Active 4x4. Value-packed with 12-inch touchscreen, black exterior styling and 18-inch alloys. All from just $60K drive away. Get the Everest Active at participating Ford dealers. what you really want with the all-new Ford Ranger Wolf Track V6, featuring bold styling, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres, all from just 73k drive away. Ranger Wolf Track at participating Ford dealers while stocks last.
Hey everyone, Tom O'Neill Thorne here. We have a massive season ahead. Follow here for your behind the scenes, game updates and everything in between. Welcome to a new era of wheelchair basketball in Australia. See you on court.
Get what you really want with the value-packed Ford Ranger Black Edition 4x4 with bedliner, 12-inch touchscreen, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres, all from just 53k drive away. Get the Ranger Black Edition at participating Ford dealers.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.
Wheelchair basketball emerged shortly after World War II after it was developed by injured servicemen. It became a foundation Paralympic sport at the 1960 Games and is now one of the world's most recognisable wheelchair sports. Athletes who play wheelchair basketball have a physical impairment. All players use a wheelchair to compete, although some don't use a wheelchair in everyday life. The court dimensions and basket height for wheelchair basketball are the same as the able-bodied version of the sport, as is the playing time and number of players on court. Wheelchair basketball classifications range between 1 and 4.5 points. Players with a classification of 1.0 have the highest level of impairment, while players in the 4.5 point class have the highest level of physical function to be eligible for the sport. The wheelchairs used during a game are specially designed to support players and help them move around the court. During a match, The classifications of the 5 players on the court are added together and must reach a total of no more than 14 points. The object of the game is to score the most points in the opposing team's basket. The team with the most points by the time the clock expires wins. Wheelchair basketball is a contact sport. The sport is so fast that it can be difficult for athletes to stop in time, meaning contact is inevitable and can result in some spectacular collisions. While contact is permitted and even encouraged, head-on collisions are strictly forbidden and can result in fouls or even ejection from the game. For more information on wheelchair basketball, visit paralympic.org.au.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
It's grand final time here at the Rollers Against the World Challenge, coming to you from the Australian Institute of Sport Centre of Excellence in Canberra, Australia. Outside. Australian Institute of Sport, it should be a heated contest. After 5 days of action, day and night, we're down to the 2 finalists, and it's 2 European powerhouses, Spain and Italy, to face off for the notional championship here. And these 2 teams, as we see the Italian team on the screen, know each other very well, having played off in the semi-final of the European Championships in Sarajevo late in 2025 as part of the qualification process for the upcoming World Championships. They've also met twice here earlier this week. On Friday, it was Spain 71, Italy 61. And then on Saturday, Spain again getting the better of Italy, 81-74. But the Italians have been fantastic the last couple of days, including their semi-final win over Australia last night, as we get a look at the Spanish team. My name's Brendan Parnell. I'm joined by Campbell Fraser, a man who can much better than I explain the intricacies of wheelchair basketball as coach and player. Campbell, it's exciting stuff, and you can hear in the background that both these teams are pumped for this contest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should probably put out a volume warning with these 2 teams. We've seen them match up twice before already, and they do get heated. They get excited, whether that's getting a little bit heated in fouls and contesting things, or just following their team and getting behind them when they're doing everything right. We've seen the Spanish get extremely animated, and the Italians have been on a winning streak throughout these past couple games that they've played. They've looked to get stronger every single game that they've played, so this will really be kind of the culmination of their weekend and all the learning that they've put into practice throughout this weekend.
3 officials in the foreground as the teams go through their final preparations. Josh McWatters, Kathy Hay, and Blaine Krablanov. It'll be Spain in their traditional red uniforms with the gold numbers. Italy in the white. Campbell, I mentioned the the European Championship semi-final. That was a comprehensive win to Spain, who finished up going through that championship unbeaten. They beat Italy that night 84-50, so they've certainly had the wood over the Italians, but you get a sense that with the youth of the Italian side, based on what we've seen over the last 5 days, that they're figuring out their rotations and figuring out what type of team they could potentially be come World Championship time.
Yeah, I think they're probably the team that I would look at who've used this time the best. Not necessarily in terms of producing perfect play or anything like that, but using this training time, which essentially this is, to really figure out their team and really figure out the depth. We've seen several players get way better across this weekend, and especially Spuel's number 00 for the Italians. He's looked incredibly strong. He was part of the junior, or we say junior under 23 squad for the Italians at their World Championships, and had a really, really good showing there, and is really showing his way into this national team and kind of cementing his place. He's gotten better throughout the games and has really taken on the experience that a couple other players on his team have, and really taken on the advice that they're clearly giving and the instruction that they're giving.
Yeah, in that semi-final against Australia that the Italians were so impressive in, they didn't lean on the two men who've been their primary scorers in the previous 6 games, Carosino and, of course, the magician Giaretti. They were able to find all sorts of other scoring angles in a very balanced performance. And that's not to say that Spain haven't as well. They've been able to use any of the 12 players on their roster in all sorts of strange permutations to come up with the goods and to counter anything that the other teams have been able to throw at them, only having lost 1 game over the past 5 days, and that a very narrow loss to Japan.
Yeah, the Spanish have looked really, really quite strong, and obviously showing why they're the European champions at the moment. They do have, we've talked about this a couple of times, where they do have moments where they come and go in terms of their the way they act and their attitude on court, and a little bit of the energy can kind of slowly leave them. And I think that's why the voice of the bench is so valuable. The bench, and really their coach as well. We'll get to see the flair that comes out of their coach. I think that energy is what keeps them going. And when that drops a little bit, that's where the Italians should look to strike. And hopefully they've done their homework, done their scouting, and learnt that from their previous games, that when the Spanish dip, they dip pretty aggressively, and that's really the time to fight.
Okay, starters have been notified for Spain in the red uniforms. It'll be Oscar Onrubia, Manuel Lorenzo, Ignacio Ortega, Eduardo Prieto, and Luis Kristen in 77. For the Italians, it's Francesco Marotta, Filippo Carosino, Joel Boganelli Joseph, one of the best lower point players we've seen at this tournament, Alessandro Spuez, and Simone Damaggi, who's so impressive at the end of that semi-final against Australia. We're underway on Rubia. Every other game he's taken a 3 off the first touch, but he doesn't this time. He finds Lorenzo inside, and the scoring is underway. Boganelli Joseph with the ball for Italy. Damaggi on the right wing, drives middle, flicks a left-hand pass back to Boganelli Joseph. Carosino finds the cutter inside. Italy scoring underway. Lorenzo can't reel that pass in. Throws out of bounds.
Lorenzo's been an interesting one for the Spanish. He had a couple games where he wasn't playing, and he's kind of come back in the last couple games and looked really strong. I think there was a loss when he wasn't playing. He brings a lot of that height, but also just seems to kind of build the team around him, and they really they close in around him.
As Boganella Joseph opens his account from the free throw line. Official gave a couple of signals there. He's eventually determined it's an offensive foul on Spain. Italy get the score and the possession. Boganella Joseph, free throw line. Uses that wingspan. Damagi's shot is off. Prieto, the rebound. Mine's on Rubia. Needs to be picked up in transition. He's not. Left wide open. Prieto manages to reel in the offensive rebound. Ortega snaps a pass off his hip. The Spanish turn it over. Damagi gets a screen from Spuez. Carosino flips a one-hand pass back to Damagi. Long two is looked at. It's off. Prieto, another rebound. Kristen for Spain. Dare him to shoot. Goes glass, can't get it to go. Carosino the rebound. Racing. Spanish, excellent transition defense. Boganella Joseph looks to both sides of the floor. Comes to Maggi. Uses the Carosino screen, the Spuel screen. Gets inside, out of his chair, no call. On Rubia with the wheels. This is the layup. Tricky travelling at that speed. Dampen the ball. Pass inside. Spuels. Got the shot fakes. Had three Spanish defenders around him. They poke it away. Ortega looks inside. Lorenzo calmly rolls back and banks home the shot.
That was kind of a strange period of play for both teams, just being a little bit lax on their offensive side, getting inside but not converting, and both teams just being not necessarily quiet in the literal sense, but just not quite feeling their energy and not driving as hard as they might usually.
Damagi's shot clangs off the front of the rim, harmlessly out of bounds. See a little bit of the familiar jamming action in the backcourt. Who else is pinned down there? The rest of the players make it to the front court. Prieto looks for the lob inside, gets a touch pass back from Ortega. But Ortega had set up camp in the keyway. Official well aware of that.
It's unfortunate. It was a really smart play to really draw the defenders in very quickly. But I think the plant got there a little bit too early and the pass wasn't quite ready.
Carosino skips to Damagi, gets it back, draws the mismatch. Just waits for Kristen to catch a piece of his arm. There's multiple fakes there. It truly is a game of cat and mouse. Just can the defender be patient enough to allow for the fact that although mismatched, a contest of that two-point shot would be enough. Carosino makes the first. Both teams feeling each other out in this early stages. Prieto waits for Rubia. He skips the pass inside. Ortega, with those telescopic arms, managed to reel that one in. Took a bump. Foul on Damashi. Ortega Wheels around off the baseline inbound. Just left wide open. Absolutely cannot do that. We've seen him have a 40-point game here at this tournament already. Caracino drives baseline, skip pass to DiMaggio. They're playing the 1-2. Back to Caracino on the elbow. Shot fake. DiMaggio comes to the other elbow. Kristen does his best. Prieto can't do much about it. Shot clock is expiring. DiMaggio released it. Kristen wide open. Makes the layup. Spanish managing to leak out there. They take an early 8-5 lead, but it's quite the chess match.
And I was just thinking that on that play, the Italians might want to stop and talk about it. And that's exactly what they go to do. The Italians just looking a little bit shy on their offense and potentially not finding the shots that they're expecting. They're relying on DiMaggio, who we know can be a really automatic shooter and really strong in that spot. But potentially they're kicking it to him as an expectation that he'll land those shots rather than setting up a play for him to make that shot. It looks a little bit more like they're putting him in that position to make a shot rather than going with what's been given to them. And they've had a couple cuts where they could have passed to other players, and potentially their low point players are getting in better positions, but I think they're trying to stick to the guns that they knew worked well and have worked well across their wins. And potentially they just need to get a little bit less rigid in the way that they're playing at the moment.
Just 5 minutes into this final contest, championship game. The Rollers against the World Challenge. 5th of 5 days here at the Australian Institute of Sport. It's been a fantastic 5 days. Caracino shoots and retreats. I don't know if he thought that was going in or he's just worried about transition defense, but he released it and took off.
I suspect it is a concern of that transition. We know that the Spanish can be really deadly in that transition, and they like to get it pretty early.
And Rubia, Ortega, he waited to see if the defender would come. The defender was late. Ortega with that geometrically precise bank shot. Drain 10, Italy 5. Papi onto the floor now, number 4 for Italy. Spanish foul. Lorenzo trying to shoot the gap there. Caught a bit of his opponent's arm. He'll head to the bench. That's his second foul. Zazuela takes his spot for Spain. Papi, Morganelli Joseph. That familiar hitch and release. It's been so successful this week. And Rubia. Ortega rolls backwards, measures it, and decides to pass instead. On Rubia, back to Ortega. This one's surely going up. No, pass inside. Zazuela. The right spot on the backboard, but the rebound's been turned over. There's Ortega bobbing up. He's fouled. The Spanish height advantage it's already apparent going to be an issue for Italy.
Yeah, that was why the Italians have really relied on DiMaggio. That was originally in a couple other games why he was brought on to be that kind of strong, big for the Italians. They have a bit of height, but they don't really have that kind of bulky height and that big center.
Ortega makes the second. A touch over 3 minutes remaining. First quarter, it's the championship game. Spain and Italy. Spain in the red singlets. Italy with the ball in the white. Boganelli Joseph, free throw line. Carasino, shot clock running down. Extra pass over the head. Papi, his shot's off. Ortega, the catch, and baseball pass. Perfect. Sazuela took the conservative approach, backed it out. Back to Ortega, rolls into a three. Almost there, just caught the back of the rim. Carasino's wide open for three now. He can't get it to go. Prieto in there. Boganelli Joseph had a swipe at the ball, couldn't get it. Bruce kicked ahead on Rubia. Prieto draws some contact from respondent looking Papi. That'll be Papi's second foul. Interesting to see if the Italians go with the auto sub there on the second foul. They do. Maybe this is what the Italians need. The magician onto the floor. He's almost down before he's taken his spot there. Giaretti in 16. We've seen him do some simply amazing things already this week. Ortega, skip pass on Rubia. Prieto has it poked away. Syed onto the floor in 13 for Italy. Carasino. It's for Giaretti. Carasino made the cut, but that cut was denied. Holding foul.
And I think Carasino saw the or heard the foul come in before Giaretti might have, and almost looked to make that pass. It's lucky to dodge that.
Baseline ball. A little under 3 minutes remaining. Spuels gets hold of it. Wheels around. Boganelli Joseph. The magician does a bit of a shimmy in his chair. Back to Boganelli Joseph. Shots off. Prieto, the rebound. Most casual looking Ortega. Comes down. That is his spot. Decides not to shoot on this occasion. Gets a pass inside to Prieto, who's fouled. Syed concedes that he's committed that foul. Both teams on 14 fouls now. Just under 2 minutes remaining, first quarter. So any further fouls will see automatic free throws. Ortega, a couple of fakes. Prieto goes back door. Ortega finds him. He's disappointed to miss that. Who else? Giaretti wheels around. Incoming baseball pass. Straight to his running mate Carasino. Giaretti's got the mismatch there. Nails the two, rolling backwards.
That's what the Italians needed. They needed just a basket to feel a little bit more comfortable, get themselves kind of set in the way that they're playing. Just settle a bit of the nerves that we know they have with a more youthful team.
Ortega shots off, long out, that pass. The magician's leaked away. Can he make it? He can. Gave us all a bit of amusement there. Pretended that he fumbled. Reeled it in and made the layup. Giaretti. Italy just down by 3. Looks like they're going to let Ortega shoot that. He doesn't. Not certain he wants to. Wheels back around. Giaretti almost daring him. No hand there. Goes glass. Can't get it to go. Rebound in dispute. Spuels. Hops off the back. Need to get the ball over the half-court line. They do. Giaretti, the hook pass. Syed. Quarter time looming. Syed left wide open at the free throw line. Offensive rebound. Spuels. I'm going to rush that a fraction. But we draw some contact.
This is what we've seen from both of these teams, and really an emblematic first quarter. They like to play with contact. They got pretty heated in the games that they've played against each other already. I think it'll be a question of who can calm down first.
That was Ortega's second personal foul. The Italians call a timeout just to have a look at what they're going to run on this last shot. off the quarter. Ortega has had a couple of games with foul trouble previously. Not that there's any shortage of options on the Spanish substitutes bench if he has to come out of the game. They've got Ruiz hidden away down there. We've seen him come on and off, the star veteran performer. Italian head coach Van der Linden delivered his messages. Spuels, because he was fouled, and both teams are in the bonus, he'll head to the free throw line. Now, Ortega, with those 2 fouls, has headed to the Spanish bench, replaced by Garcia and Gelmo. Spuels got his own technique for the free throws, 45-degree angle. Might get the second to go. Giaretti in there poking at the ball, and he pokes successfully. Spain comes up with it. You can hear the Italian countdown in the background if you understand Italian numbers. Giaretti gets a shot off, and that'll do us. Spain looks so good early, but the Italians have managed to stall their scoring while finding a few baskets of their own. It's Spain 12, Italy 9 at quarter time.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.
Welcome back. Second quarter underway here at the Australian Institute of Sport. It's the championship game. Spain in the red uniforms against Italy in the white. Brasweiler down the middle. Finds Ruiz. They've inserted their talisman into the lineup. Syed takes a tumble there. Officials call a halting play.
Ruiz is one of those back pocket players that you think the Spanish are pretty big with Ortega and a couple others, and then they put Ruiz on, and you realize just the power that they have sitting on their bench when they need it. He's a big, formidable opponent, but he's also a fantastic scorer.
Syed measures that shot. Not sure if he's left open intentionally by the Spanish, but certainly didn't seem too bothered about guarding him.
You would hope from the game that the Italians played against the Australians that they would know not to leave Saeed alone at that position. That elbow position is very comfortable for him. He was elite from there over this weekend.
Spain with the ball. Lorenzo decide whether to go glass or straight on, and caroms into the intersection of the ring and the backboard. Shots off. Giaretti snaps a pass inside. While Gianni was trying to work out how to get under Ruiz's arm to shoot the ball, the 3-second clock was ticking, and he was assessed as having been in the keyway area for too long. Italy turn it over. It was difficult to find a way to shoot the ball around Ruiz, who has the ball now in 90 for Spain. Skip pass. Lorenzo with the long arm, reels it in, draws some contact. Foul assessed on Benvenuto, his first for Italy, and just come onto the floor. And down pass to Ruiz. He's guarded by the smallest man on the floor, Pedron. Kicks the pass, Garcia and Gelmo! Goes boom. From 3, he flirted with a triple-double in one of the games the other day, Garcia and Gelmo. He's a multi-talented player.
I was watching him line that shot up for a while. He was just kind of floating up there, and I was wondering if they were going to kick it or whether he was just looking at being a kind of safety option in case the Italians look to push a rebound. But that obviously that is the shot that they're looking for.
Giaretti to Syed. He draws some contact. And a reckless closeout potentially from Lavandera. Syed will shoot free throws. Syed shoots. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, the Australian women's team, the Gliders, playing in the Rapid Charge tournament across in Spain. They're leading their second contest, having won yesterday 55-22 against Colombia. Comfortably leading Angola at the moment. Opportunity for the Australian women to join the Australian men at the World Championships in September. It's Giaretti. Gets the ball to sit softly off the glass. And makes the shot. Ruiz barreling down the other way. Finds Pedron again. It's a strange matchup. Pedron just being the first defender in transition. Ruiz scatters defenders and makes the bank shot. Syed for Italy. Kicks to Giaretti. He looks at 3. Almost there. Ruiz draws some contact. They cut him down on transition. Lorenzo. Oh, lovely bounce pass behind. Finishes with Zarzuela for the layup. Looked like it was going to get away. It was just flicked back delicately and finished with Zarzuela.
And Lorenzo was really lucky in the midcourt not to pick up a charge there. The Italians looked to cover him really well, but he managed to get rid of it and kind of control his chair just in time. And I think that almost makes that look just that little bit better, knowing the contact that he was coming into just as he was able to get away. And that's really the kind of style of the Spanish. They like to play that fast, kind of play around contact and really push through it. Something the Italians have done well is bring them up to that contact. But the Italians just getting potentially a little bit outpaced and needing to pull back a little bit. I think the Spanish like to run at that pace. The Italians aren't bad at it, but they don't necessarily have the ability to do it as well as the Spanish.
I think that's a pretty good summation of the two teams, Campbell, that we look at the Spanish huddle. they're so deep and they have so many ways to hurt you, and given their pedigree and familiarity with winning championships, they just don't, even when they go on tilt for tiny periods, they don't seem to fall over. They just keep asking questions. But having said that, this is exactly the place that Italy would want to be, playing Spain in a final. It's a warm-up for the World Championships. We're going to find out plenty about how battle-tested they are tonight here in Canberra. Giorgetti with the ball. He's been pretty conventional by his standards thus far. Benvenuto. Important they find some other scoring avenues, and Benvenuto can be one of those. He's been quite handy around the basket this week. Angelmo drives inside, the back cut. Zarzuela, some contact. Just got all the Italian defence moving in one direction. And Zarzuela with a complimentary cut almost against the grain from the weak side.
The Italians will be pretty annoyed at that at that foul, only because Zarzuela was coming in with a little bit too much speed for the shot that he wanted to take, and I suspect if they had let him just run that, he would have had the same result of that shot kind of careening off the bottom of the board.
First one's off for Zarzuela. Just a little over 3 minutes have passed by. Second quarter, championship game, day 5. Rollers against the world, coming to you from the Australian Institute of Sport in Canberra. In the middle of winter, down in the southern hemisphere here. Probably quite a shock to the system of these European teams. They come from a blazing summer. Giorgetti, his little razzle-dazzle, top of the key. Cuts inside, gets a lovely pass. It was just a fraction off. Giorgetti manages to get a second chance and finishes. He sits for a second and admires his handiwork. Meanwhile, the Spanish are off and running. Lavandera. It's a sort of 3-on-2. Lavandera is forced away. Giorgetti commits the strategic foul, shall we say. Coach, carry on. That's more like it. He's apoplectic. I think he wanted the
Yeah, he was almost calling for the unsportsmanlike. I think that there was a quick tap on the back as the players were moving down, and that one didn't get called, and then the contact after that did. And I think he was expecting that with the arm up, holding, expecting that to be the call.
Garcia and Gelmo thinks about the 3 for a second. He's already hit one of those. Lobs to Ruiz. They're running a line play across the free throw line. Ruiz is well short. Might have been a touch on that. If there was, nobody saw it. Yeah, we need Coach Carry-On to be at his best. He's an entertainment machine. Benvenuto rolls back in his chair. Didn't get any rotation on that shot. Garcia and Gelmo. Good pass inside. Somehow finds Lorenzo. Basket's waved off. Contact on the ground.
Spanish are just so good with those passes. They've had a few of those passes that are just somehow making their distance and really getting into position. I'm honestly, as a player, I'm kind of baffled at how you can make such expert passes at such distance and speed.
And this time the Italian defenders sag a little off Garcia and Gelmo as he was looking at a similar passing opportunity. Instead, he just calmly nails the long 2. Giorgetti goes boom. And the Italians really needed that. Ruiz now for Spain. It's left reasonably open. Comes Lorenzo inside. Get that lovely wrist snap. Banks it in, just a little too tall. Giretti. Syed trying to set a screen for him. Lorenzo comes to defend. Giretti looks inside, finds Benvenuto, brings the ball down, which is dangerous. Out of his chair. Once he brought it down there, he's in awful trouble. Spanish hands all over the place. And Benvenuto will just wait for a little assistance to get up and pop his chair up. He's able to use a sort of push-up form. Checks his elbows. Never much fun. I'd imagine Campbell tumbling forward out of your chair.
It's one of those things that early on in a lot of junior players' experience in the game, they'll learn how to fall and kind of be taught a little bit of how to protect themselves because it is pretty rough.
So we see Garcia and Gelmas just putting on a clinic in the half court there. This time he finds Ruiz under the basket, who just banks home the layup. Evans don't really have an answer for Garcia and Gelmo at the moment. They sag off him, he's making shots. They commit to him, he's threading passes. You see a Spanish foul, just their third this quarter. Italy already in the bonus, having committed 4. Couple of Italian substitutions. Carasino comes back. De Silva Balazzari is well on for Italy. Magician left with a short clock. Skips it to Carasino. Bit of a grenade, cuts middle. Can't get it to go. Benvenuto's there. Ball's going to go back to Italy. In fact, to Spain. Just checking with each other there. Spain by 8, just past the midway point, second quarter, championship game. Rollers against the world. Coach carry on, continuing his storytelling, anecdotes, pleading, all of the above.
I suspected that was going to happen. Benvenuto was looking across at the bench and was putting his arms up to sub, giving the X to sub, and I suspect he on that fall he might have actually injured something, might have done a little bit of something to his arm, and he got a little bit of assistance to wheel off there.
Let's hope it's nothing serious. The Italian medical staff attending to him now. As we see the Italian mechanic duck in. Quick pit stop during this timeout. Bit of a thankless task, the mechanic. You can see all the wheels, or maybe you can, banked up on the chairs. Just an expectation at this level that there'll be wheels available. Valves and team managers providing all the...
One of the credits of just how much contact comes into the game. The chairs go through an absolute beating. It's a lucky thing that you can't quite see these chairs super close up. They usually have paint on them, and you'll notice that the paint chips off pretty quickly and it becomes pretty shiny and smooth.
And of course, Campbell, these aren't the sort of wheelchairs you might see somebody down the street. They're the high performance variety. Here he is, Garcia and Gelmo. They're going to let him shoot a 3 this time, and that's not a good idea. Boom! He's really been quite the revelation at this tournament. Good pass. Carasino to Giretti. Bogano Joseph, he's been kept quiet at the free throw line where he's made a bit of hay, although he finds an opening now. gets into that rhythmic shot. Might have just had too much time. That's possible. That's a backcourt foul that's going. In fact, it's an offensive foul. It looked like some of the players a bit confused. Hands in the air from some of the Spanish players.
I think that was called crossing the path. I think that was actually the Italian was kind of holding his line and the Spanish just turning in there a little bit. Can't cut that path without giving time to move.
And Giaretti made sure everybody knew what was going on. Buells can't get that reverse to go. A very complex shot he finished up shooting there. Ruiz almost threw it away. Reeled the pass back in. Garcia and Gelmo makes the first mistake we've seen from him all night. Giaretti, there it is. Who else could conjure up that to get the contact and the unsportsmanlike foul? You'd need to see that in slow motion to figure out exactly what he did. He turned away from the basket and finished up flipping the shot back up over his head. Poor old Garcia and Gelmo not only turned it over, but was sent tumbling to the floor. And I don't think anybody knows exactly what happened there, Campbell.
Yeah, I think that's as much as I want to give credit to a fantastic play. It's certainly not something you'd be telling a player to do, to pull out of a layup like that. Fantastic kind of court awareness, knowing just how close the defender was and the pace that they were moving at. They were never going to be able to get any sort of contact safely. And really smart play, but just wildly willing to put his body on the line, I guess.
Of course, Campbell, he is the magician, and we've had a few warning for some back chat there from the officials. A few nominations from other players at various times the past 5 days. They've tried to pull bigger bits of magic out of their bag of tricks, but Giaretti reigning supreme at the moment as he makes a long two. Right on cue. Knew we were talking about him. Vega now for Spain. Out of the floor, elbow. He's reliable from that spot the other day. Can't get it to go. Giaretti sails in for a rebound. Pushes transition. Italians really can operate on some emotion. Giaretti draws a foul. Spanish over the limit. He'll roll his way down to the free throw line. Giaretti almost single-handedly just tipping this game a little bit off balance, where the Spanish had it exactly where they wanted it. He won't be pleased with that.
And whether or not you can hear it quite as loud, the amount of conversation that's going on between the two benches and between players on court as well. It's kind of lucky that we're moving towards the half. Potentially just a little bit of a cool down moment, as I suspect the end of the fourth quarter could be a little bit fiery.
For the best of friends, best of enemies when it comes to playing. Ruiz now picks ahead. Vega for Spain. They lead by 7. Zarzuela wheels around, back to Ruiz. That's a shot he normally likes. Back to Zarzuela at the free throw line. Ruiz cuts middle, dumps the pass down. Lavandiera turns it over. Back it was Tristan, turned that over. Giaretti with a bobble off his own head, manages to reel it in. Who else could do that? Carasino at the free throw line. Buells does a good job to try and tip the rebound away. But Garcia and Gelmo calms things down for Spain. Back to Ruiz, drives baseline. Carasino has to come, can't get a hand up. Lewis's shot is off. Giorgetti. Time running down for second quarter. Into the first half. Carasino wheels around. Green from Buels. Syed thinks about that free throw line shot. Makes it. Just hesitated for a fraction to let the defenders hedge out and then sail by. Garcia and Jelmos. Syed half guarding him. Ruiz. Scott Boganelli Joseph. Much shorter defender, but one with a long reach. He manages to get up a distracting hand at least. Carasino. Giorgetti on the elbow, wheels around, snaps a pass back to Syed. Deliberately try to bank that. The Italians will be holding their hands there in their heads there. It was a fantastic tip from Spuels, but the layup unable to be made. Nonetheless, Italy have righted their ship, no doubt. At halftime, it's Spain 31, Italy 26.
Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Everest Active 4x4. Value packed with 12-inch touchscreen, black exterior styling and 18-inch alloys. All from just $60K drive away. Get the Everest Active at participating Ford dealers.
I was really lucky to cross paths with wheelchair basketball when I was 15 years old. I fell in love with the sport.
I was doing horse riding and I wanted to play a team sport, and my mum came across wheelchair basketball and I just grew to love it. My muscles have grown stronger, so I'm able to do a lot more things now because of basketball. Yeah, it just helped me a lot in life. I would love to play at the Brisbane 2032 Paralympics and represent the country.
I wasn't 21 until I made my first Australian team, so you've got plenty of time. The most important thing is that you just enjoy your basketball.
By rolling out the start line, we want to build a framework where anyone that wants to become involved in parasport can find and navigate their way through to the opportunity that's local, that suits their needs.
Parasport's the best. You meet people that are just like you.
Times can be really tough. You're going to have some really frustrating days. It's okay to ask for help, but I promise you things do get better, and Paralympic sport can play a huge role in that.
Have a go. When we move out of our comfort zone, we surprise ourselves.
Not in my wildest dreams did I imagine that direction my life has taken, and I'm extremely thankful for it.
Just try it. You'll just grow to love it, and you could probably play for your country.
Hey everyone, Tom O'Neill Thorne here. We have a massive season ahead. Follow here for your behind the scenes, game updates and everything in between. Welcome to a new era of wheelchair basketball in Australia. See you on court.
Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Ranger Wolf Track V6, featuring bold styling, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres, all from just $73K drive away. Ranger Wolf Track at participating Ford dealers while stocks last.
Welcome to this very special occasion, a celebration of the 2000 Australian Paralympic team.
It's so great just for everyone to come together and reminisce, and it's like a massive reunion.
To be here with everyone's just so special. It makes me almost cry with joy.
So wonderful to be back here after 25 years. So many people that got to share such unforgettable memories because it was the first time we had the Paralympic Games in Australia.
We all have a bond that can't be broken because we all experience something that is a part of our lives.
All of what we're here for, we have to develop the athletes, the kids with disabilities, to believe that they can achieve.
Sydney 2000 showed that the Paralympic Games can be as good as a host city chooses to make them. It filled stadiums, it filled arenas. It set the benchmark for the athlete experience.
Sydney 2000 changed everything. Let's just take the Paralympic movement to a place where it had never been before.
people with disabilities can, and I think Sydney said to us, we can.
Australia changed the face of Paralympic sport forever, and I couldn't be prouder.
My favourite memory from the Sydney 2000 Paralympic Games was actually carrying the torch into the stadium for the opening ceremony of the Games. Before I was about to carry the torch, there was going to be 2.2 billion television viewers.
The advice to the athletes is seize all the opportunity you have. The athletes that assembled here today are an example of the hard work and the legacy that can be left by a group that's come well before you. The best way that you can honour, respect and thank the past is to make sure you take care of the future by working hard and embracing every opportunity that you have at the moment.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.
Get what you really want with the value-packed Ford Ranger Black Edition 4x4 with bedliner, 12-inch touchscreen, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres. All from just 53k drive away. Get the Ranger Black Edition at participating Ford dealers.
Wheelchair basketball emerged shortly after World War II after it was developed by injured servicemen. It became a foundation Paralympic sport at the 1960 Games and is now one of the world's most recognisable wheelchair sports. Athletes who play wheelchair basketball have a physical impairment. All players use a wheelchair to compete, although some don't use a wheelchair in everyday life. The court dimensions and basket height for wheelchair basketball are the same as the able-bodied version of the sport, as is the playing time and number of players on court. Wheelchair basketball classifications range between 1 and 4.5 points. Players with a classification of 1.0 have the highest level of impairment, while players in the 4.5 point class have the highest level of physical function to be eligible for the sport. The wheelchairs used during a game are specially designed to support players and help them move around the court. During a match, the classifications of the 5 players on the court are added together and must reach a total of no more than 14 points. The object of the game is to score the most points in the opposing team's basket. The team with the most points by the time the clock expires wins. Wheelchair basketball is a contact sport. The sport is so fast that it can be difficult for athletes to stop in time, meaning contact is inevitable and can result in some spectacular collisions. While contact is permitted and even encouraged, head-on collisions are strictly forbidden and can result in fouls or even ejection from the game. For more information on wheelchair basketball, visit paralympic.org.au.
Welcome back to the Australian Institute of Sport. It's the final half of the final game, championship game between Spain and Italy. After 5 days of hectic action, these two teams not deadlocked, but not much separating them. Campbell, the Italians were fantastic to drag their way back into the contest there.
Yeah, the Italians did really everything right in that second quarter. Really brought back kind of their energy, but also their kind of discipline in a lot of the the mistakes that they were making in that first quarter were really just a product of the Spanish kind of getting on top of them, kind of trampling the way that they like to play and forcing them to play at a pace that they're not too comfortable with. And I think the Italians kind of finding their way back into that kind of steady pace.
As we look at the raw numbers, Spain 11 2-point makes, Italy 10. Not much to speak of from the three-point line, just 2 for Spain, 2 makes and 1 for Italy. The one thing I did want to point out, Campbell, the free throws, Spain 3 from their 4 attempts, Italy 3 from their 10 attempts, and therein lies the margin. I think if you've been shooting a reasonable clip from the line, this game would probably be tied up, but it's not, and plays underway. Spanish exchange of passing. Garcia and Gelmo gets the deflected pass back. Prieto's worried about getting hit in the head. Ball comes loose. It's a clumsy exit on transition there. Got themselves into all sorts of trouble. Italy. Thankfully for them, Ortega, who's playing with 2 fouls, wasn't able to make that layup, but he will head to the free throw line for a couple of attempts.
We should note Lavandera as well on the Spanish side. He's also got 3 at this point. It's a difficult thing once he gets fouled out. I think he had 1 game where he got fouled out, and that does kind of create some issues with the Spanish rotations just because of his classification. They like to put him on and move him through with a couple other players. They often do substitutions in tandem, and if he gets into a little bit more trouble, that might be difficult for them to deal with.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he's still on the floor at the moment. Lorenzo has 3 fouls for Spain as well. He's not on the floor at the moment, but he's probably a piece that they have a couple of other very similar pieces offensively, the higher point players. Carosino looks inside. Ball deflected away. It's tough to throw a lob pass with Ortega around anywhere. Ball gets to Carosino, drives middle. Almost like look at the shot the long arm of Ortega got there. Gione finishes. Jam up in the backcourt. On Rubio, often rolling for Spain. Italy a little short-handed defensively. The hedging just didn't go near on Rubio there. I think they're going to count that basket. And Spain will retain the ball. And Rubio released that. There was some confusion from the bench, but yes, the officials have counted that score. Garcia and Gelmo. Back to Onrubia. He rubbed some salt in the wounds. 4-point play there for Spain. Borganelli Joseph calls out of play. Gets to Carosino. Uses the Gione screen. Skips back across to Papi. Prieto gets a fingertip on that. Short shot clock for Italy. We're going to manufacture here. Borganelli Joseph to Carosino. Lobs inside. Did he get that off in time, Gione? He did. It's touch and go. Rubia slides down, wheels back around, left open, releases long, Carosino the rebound. To the light of the Italian bench. Plenty of contact down under the basket. Gione. It's Ortega with that foul. That'll be his 3rd. Yeah. It's a bit of a chuckle. It's a chuckle of frustration.
Gione's been a really good match for the Spanish kind of strength and the dominant way that they like to play. Once he gets inside the paint, he doesn't just post up, he pushes in, kind of muscles his way in and looks to kind of force that contact. And I think Ortega just wasn't really prepared for that to happen.
Ortega will stay on the floor at this stage as Giono makes the second of 2. Margin at 6. Have a whistle in the backcourt. Keep a track of everything going on. And Rubio signals play. Just a jam up of chairs there. And Rubio, nobody's particularly guarding him. He somehow misses. There's a total confusion on the matchup there defensively for Italy. Carasino tries to get round on Rubio. He does a good job to stay in front of him. Carasino with the soft touch. Gets it to roll home. Italy doing more than hanging around, just 4 points. Garcia and Gelmo draw some contact, wakes something up. We'll go to the free throw line.
The Italians getting a little bit unnerved and kind of in their faces a little bit. Obviously that they are pretty expressive regardless, but potentially just looking a little bit like the cracks are starting to show.
Garcia and Gelmo has been conversely a picture of calmness. He makes the first free throw and clangs the second on cue. Carasino for Italy. Quite a few lower point players in front of him. He's got a bit of a height advantage, but he's been forced to wheel around some fantastic defence. Lavandera comes now with the reach. Carasino gets his way inside. Just had to be patient there. He had the advantage. Just needed to shake a defender. Exhortations from the bench as Garcia and Gelmo looks inside. Somebody grabbed hold of Prieto there. Italians in the bonus. There's all sorts of chit-chat going on here. Officials have asked them a couple of times to tone it down. Prieto with one of the flatter free throws you'll ever see. It must have grazed the front of the rim as it disappeared down the hole. Doesn't get much more arc on the second. It makes it. Spain by 5. Still 6.5 minutes remaining. It's not a great sign for Italy to be in the bonus this early or to commit enough fouls to have Spain in the bonus. There's Giono, makes a rolling layup. He's pinned in the backcourt by a couple of Spanish players. And Rubio pushes ahead regardless. He's wondering whether he should shoot it. He's left alone. Defender arrives now. Ortega makes the shot, appeals to the official. He might have done some contact there. Makes it difficult for the officials. Most calls are being contested here, at least commented on. Carasino rolling backwards, shoots one over Ortega. Not many people can do that.
Ortega looked like he was just relaxing on that defense a little bit. He put the pressure on, and then once he knew he was out of position, just kind of stopped and kind of allowed that. Potentially that's the issue with the fouls coming into play, but just looking like he was letting go for a second.
Prieto manages to post up inside and shoots an uncontested layup. Might have made it look a little more difficult than it was, but got it to go. Lob inside to Carasino, rolling backwards. Prieto with an interesting form of defence there, just the low hand. I don't know what he was doing with that. Campbell, can you assist?
I think that was as much as anything a distraction and a confusion potentially. It was almost a point, almost a single finger point.
There's a point at his waist. Nowhere near where the shot was coming from. Anyway, Spain miss. Italy off and running again. Carrasino inside is fouled before he can release the shot. Italy looking much better with Carrasino playing off the ball at the moment. Spain want to have a chat. Not that they haven't been chatting the whole of this third quarter. But we've really got a contest on our hands here. Spain 44, Italy 41. The improvement we've seen all week incrementally from Italy is evident tonight. Can Spain have their hands full?
Yeah, the Spanish, they're holding strong, they're doing well, but really the Italians showing that they're ready to take this last game. They've fought through the weekend. Obviously, all of these teams will be extremely tired by this point. They're elite athletes. They know how to play with fatigue, but it would be a rough change for them, especially the winter in Australia that it is at the moment. And just another thing to add to their kind of struggle of playing all of these games. The Spanish refusing to let up on their offense and their fire that they bring, but the Italians just slowly clawing back their way.
For anybody who's not aware, Campbell talks about the workload. The first 3 days of this tournament, each team played 2 games a day. Games started at 8 a.m. in the morning. And as Campbell mentioned, the middle of winter. Very cold here in Canberra outside. So rest and recovery time's been at a premium. Italy with the ball in the white. Third quarter, Carrasino likes the look of that, makes it. Italy just bubbling along. Back within 1 on Rubia. Finds our friend Ortega, who shoots one behind his head. Makes the layup. Happy for Italy. Wears away, kicks middle. Carrasino feels the contact, hoists the shot up. He claps his hands, is disappointed that he didn't make it, but that would have been a circus shot. Coach carry on in the background, you can probably see. He roams up and down the sideline. It's hard to tell sometimes if he's giving coaching advice or officiating techniques. It's all sort of a big jumble, but it's a jumble of energy. No doubt about his positivity. Carrasino draws Italy back within 1 again. About 4 minutes remaining. Third quarter, championship game. Rollers against the world. 2 of Europe's elite men's wheelchair basketball teams. Lorenzo back on the floor. That's automatic for him from that range. Puppy to Carrasino. He's carried a big load of things in this third quarter. Boganelli Joseph has been pretty quiet tonight offensively. Puppy leaning and rolling out of court. Makes the baseline shot.
We should point out for the Spanish side, Ortega has been taken off for now. He's got 4 fouls, and already Lorenzo and Garcia and Gelmo both have 3 as well. So really important players for the Spanish, putting themselves in a little bit of danger.
They are very deep nonetheless. Lorenzo, one of those higher point players. Now's another shot. Puppy now switching hands. But we've got a Spanish foul. That's their 4th this quarter. A little under 3 minutes remaining. Italy will be in the bonus with any subsequent Spanish fouls. Of course, the Italians already way over the limit this quarter. Syed comes on for Italy, along with The magician, Giaretti. This game's sort of moving towards a situation where he's likely to have a say in the outcome. Lorenzo comes to the bench. He's not very happy. Waving his arms around. It's Carasino. Rolls back. Nails another one. Just refuse to go away, the Italians. Garcia and Gelmo. Borgonelli Joseph arrives late. Both defenders back off for some reason. Garcia and Gelmo. Nails another two.
They can't really be affording to let those shots go anymore. Essentially, earlier in the game, they were willing to allow those outside shots. But Garcia and Gelmo are really proving his value outside of the key. And proving his drive as well.
Was knocked out of bounds, stay with Spain. In fact, that was Lorenzo's fourth foul as well before. That's why he was unhappy heading to the bench. All sorts of foul trouble for Spain. They have got an incredibly deep roster. This man's just been amazing. He misses that shot. The offensive rebound, Zazuela, some contact inside. And Prieto will head to the free throw line. Carasino puts his singlet in his mouth in frustration. The super flat shot doesn't work for Prieto that time. For the second. Giaretti for Italy. Closing stages, third quarter. Championship game. Carasino. Some long minutes tonight. That shot's way short. Prieto the rebound. Might be time for him to take a blow. Zazuela for Spain. Cut off. Papi there. Grinned away by Onrubia, who rolls. Zazuela's down, ball's loose. Officials are going to call a halt. A few appeals, but I think that was the prudent thing to do.
I think Zazuela was expecting there to be a foul drawn there. I suspect it was actually his teammate that pushed the contact into him and won't allow a foul to be called, but he was pretty indignant falling down there.
Giaretti with the ball for Italy. And Rubia picks him up, tries to stay with him. Zazuela comes to help. Ball skips its way across, back to Giaretti. He skips, he has to let Carasino know that ball's coming. He wheels around, looks for Giaretti inside, but Zazuela was denying that pass all the way. Rides a little bit of contact, gets to the rim, makes a layup. Fantastic sequence at both ends from Zazuela. Another possession after this. Carasino cuts middle. Was the foul from Prieto, just his first.
You can hear just the amount of talk that is happening as the ball transitions. Even before anything's really happened, both benches really letting them have it. And, just making sure that they know both teams are here to fight.
Center frustrated, misses the first. It was pretty clever play by Italy to go so quickly. They've manufactured a 2-for-1 situation. Should be able to get the ball back. 31 seconds remaining. Carasino makes the second. Margin back to 4. And Rubia going to run this down a bit. Italy hedging defensively, almost daring on Rubia to do something shooting-wise. bench helps with the countdown. A 6 or 7 second differential. Shots off. The Italians are going to have to go quickly to get something up here. Carosino measures the three. Nothing doing. 3/4 time. Exactly where we want it to be. Spain 54, Italy 50. We'll be back in a moment.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
Hey everyone, Tom O'Neill Thorne here. We have a massive season ahead. Follow here for your behind the scenes, game updates and everything in between. Welcome to a new era of wheelchair basketball in Australia. See you on court.
Welcome back. The final quarter of the championship game. Australian Institute of Sport. It's Spain holding a 4-point advantage over their European counterparts, Italy. Italy with the ball. Looking up with an offensive foul. Just calming down the chaos, even though we're only 6 seconds into the fourth quarter. Prieto has been a tower of strength for Spain. Ball off to Rubia. Contact again. Boganelli Joseph with that foul. This is third. Ball skips across. I think the Italians are worried about some more contact there, but it was a 3-second call. Tried a quarter break there. Syed for Italy. Fioretti looks inside. Damaji. Benvenuto onto the floor. Lets the defender sail by. Can't make the banker. Prieto often pushing for Spain. Boganelli Joseph closes him down. And Rubia now. Look at that three now. Boganelli Joseph arrives. Benvenuto looking to help. Now he has to switch back across the floor. Kristen, who can't make that one. Giaretti. Weaving in and out. 3 Spanish defenders come to him. They all retreat. Accelerates again. Ball back to Syed, switches hands, flips a pass to Giaretti. Shot clock becoming an issue. Single figures down to 4. Giaretti realises, airmails one straight past the rim. Spain off and rolling. And Rubia has his own shot, which is wayward. But another Italian foul. Their third. Very early in this quarter.
Yeah, the Italians coming out just coming out firing, but potentially not in the way that they were hoping to, and not able to convert quite as well as they would hope to throughout this game. Really, their shooting percentage isn't as high as they would expect. How many shots they've taken, but that contact just being drawn by the Spanish again and again.
Messi and Gilmo goes glass, can't get it to go. Giaretti, the rebound for Italy. pushes the Spanish back in numbers. No obvious opportunity. Tries to get around Garcia and Gelmo. He adjusts. Giuretti, the fumble. Shot clock becoming an issue again. Does DiMaggio realise? Boganelli Joseph does. It's well short. Spanish defence, very precise. Forcing the Italians into some suboptimal options. And Rubia is wide open. He breaks the ice in the fourth quarter. Spain out by 6.
It really is that Spanish defense is being really switched on now. They haven't looked this switched on in their defense in probably the entire game. They've just decided this last quarter they're absolutely not going to let anything go.
Giuretti launches a 3. A long rebound sails out of bounds. Spain want to have a chat about it. Timeout. It's been a stuttering start to this fourth quarter for both teams. Just the 2 points for Spain and nothing for Italy. Coach Van der Linden, presume, would be preaching calm here. Despite not making a shot, the game certainly has not got away from them yet.
I think that's something the Italians do quite well, is actually when they're not performing at one end, they really become a stronghold at the other, whether that's defensively or offensively. In various games, they've looked both ways, and their defense really has switched on. The Spanish not really finding much that they would usually get, on Rubio being a little bit quieter than he has been in previous games, from that three-point line especially, and the Italians really making sure that they don't get those put-back points either.
The timeout, in fact, was charged to Italy. They've still got some available in this second half, the last quarter. Garcia and Gelmo, there's a little bit too much angle there in that shot. It's off. Giuretti probing. Ortega back on the floor now for Spain. Giuretti wide open. Got Kristen in front of him. Somehow the shot was halfway down and popped out. Ortega, trouble here for DiMaggio. Just gets there in time to close the straight line for Ortega. He takes his time, wheels back. Shot can't quite go. Giuretti, the rebound. Racing, trying to look for some advantage. A big swipe from behind. Benvenuto gets inside. Gets it to DiMaggio. He makes it.
DiMaggio's kind of been the cool, calm, collected scoring opportunity for the Italians to really settle their nerves. He's done that a couple times in across games where he just becomes that one person to get a couple scores and just bring it back.
And Rubio's geometry on the back from an unusual angle was perfect there. The ball landed right in the middle of the square and just raced its way down the hole. Giuretti inside, dump pass. Fired shot sits on the rim tantalisingly. DiMaggio tries to kick it out, turns it over. Boganelli Joseph racing back. On Rubio does a great job to shield him out of the action. Garcia and Gelmo, the beneficiary, makes the layup.
Could almost give on Rubio the assist with with that setup.
Marching out to 8. It's a dangerous point for Italy here. Took over 5 minutes remaining. Giuretti goes glass. It pops out again for him. Just not having any luck with that. Garcia and Gelmo is open again the other way. Boganelli Joseph fouls him. Make him earn the 2 points the hard way from the foul line. 5 minutes in, Italy's only been able to produce 2 points. Garcia and Gelmo short with the first. Makes the adjustment with the second. Da Silva Pellizzari, we haven't seen a lot of him tonight. He's been a prominent feature in other games here this week. Skips a pass. Giaretti. Back to Carasino. He never really got a handle on it and turned it over. Zazuela throws a hook pass to Ortega. He's just too tall there. Draws some contact. Giaretti puts his hand up. That'll be his third personal. The bigger problem is that the lead has leaked out to 11.
It's just looking like the Italians are not necessarily letting go, but just looking a little bit lost on the way that they're playing, and potentially they feel like they've let it go.
Yeah, haven't had a lot of luck, and they're being tested. Giaretti's had the last 2 shots which have taken a huge look inside the basket and then popped out for some reason. It's like the basketball gods are challenging them. Keep their composure. Free throws missed from Ortega. Da Silva Pellizzari to Giaretti, skip pass to Carasino. Can he find some offense for Italy? Shakes a defender or two. Da Silva Pellizzari from the free throw line. Calmly makes it. Cries ring out from the Italian bench. On Rubia. Left wide open again. This is the bank shot. Maybe the Italians hoping that Spain just miss a couple without executing some offense and giving them trouble inside. Giaretti finds Carasino, feels the contact, wakes the shot up, will go to the free throw line. For a second, that might have been on Ortega. He was in the vicinity, but Zazuela assessed with the foul. No foul trouble for Zazuela. Of course, Ortega sitting on 4. Were he to disappear, even with just a tick over 3.5 minutes remaining, it would be problematic for the Spanish. Carasino drags the lead back to 7. And Rubia mishandled. Like I see in Gelma, shot clock running down. Got that Ortega outlet all the time. He's just a little too tall, just off the block there.
I think the Italians are really worried about letting Ortega inside the paint, kind of compressing into that box, and forgetting that Ortega is just as effective on that outside.
Carasino makes a nice back cut. Gets the pass from Giaretti, balances himself. The Spanish weren't going to foul there. Now Spain calls a timeout. They lead by 7. Just a tick over 3 minutes remaining. It's the championship game from the Rollers against the world. It's been an enthralling 5 days, Campbell, and no doubt the 2 teams that have adapted the best are here in the final.
Yeah, I think that really big credit goes to the Italian side. The way they've played across these 5 days, they've just gotten better in every single game. This last 5 minutes, maybe they've looked a little bit more like how they started out this series, and a little bit messy, a little bit cold. But the Italians really making sure that they can keep pace and keep the Spanish at least under a little bit of stress. They're clearly not letting them finish this game without earning it.
Yeah, plenty of learnings to come from this event for all the teams. Coach Carrion, the Spanish coach, he's been a little quieter in the second half. I say that constructively. He's always exuding positive energy of the possibilities for Spain. Okay, back underway on Rubio with the ball for Spain. The red, Italy. Ball skipped across. It was just a misdirection designed to lob to Ortega. He finishes. It's a really tough puzzle to solve. Silva, Pellizzari. Giorgetti, skip pass, Carosino. Silva, Pellizzari again. His free throw line shot is off this time. Ortega the rebound, he cruises down the floor. Silva, Pellizzari cuts him off. Almost turned it over. Valenzuela reels it in. On Rubia, Kristen. Back across to Rubia, shot clock running down. And Rubia's shot is off. The bench still urging their team on. Carosino. Throws an no-look pass inside to Giorgetti. He finishes. Just a sliver of hope. 1:42 remaining. Evans may eventually have to play the foul game if they want to try and turn over the Spanish here. So Ortega strolls down the middle. Somebody pokes it away. Bognelli Joseph, foot race or a wheel race. Spanish quicker to get to that. The right idea from Bognelli Joseph. He gets another rebound. Southern transition held up there. Someone throws it past, somehow makes its way through. To Silva Pellizzari. Time of the essence here. Clock ticks down to a minute remaining. Carosino, the shot clock ticking down as well in the background. Has to shoot something, rolls back, a long hand in his face, almost makes it. Valenzuela the rebound. Just really have to make some choices here. Are they going to foul or let it play out? Valenzuela flips it out. Italian deflection according to referee Hay. Italians want to have a talk about it. This will require some doing. 7 points. A touch over 40 seconds. Any ideas for them, Campbell?
I think this is one of the hardest positions to be in, only because not only is it so within reach, but it's so outside of reach. It's the worst kind of scoreline to bring back. Even if it was 6 points instead, that's 2 plays and you can work with that. So I do not envy the Italians in any sense at this point. I think they have to be looking for threes, and I think they have to be looking for fouls. I think they know that the Spanish are disciplined with their fouls, but they are willing to commit them. And they've got to be drawing into that, and also just drawing into the fire that really has been brought out in both of these teams. They are energetic, they're in there, they want to win, and potentially that could spell just one overcommitment that just gets them ahead.
Ball. I bet they'll be using every second available to them if the Italians are not going to foul. And Rubia, the countdown begins. He's going to launch a three. That would have almost sealed it, but it doesn't. He can't get hold of the rebound. Christian flips to Ortega. Spanish layup That'll pretty much do it, I think. Almost had hold of that rebound, the Italians. De Silva Pellizzari looks at a three, harmlessly rolls away. I don't think Kristen will worry about this layup. He'll hold the ball. These two teams know each other. A great deal of respect. He puts it on the ground. It's been a fantastic final, but Spain just a little too good. 69-60. Plenty of things for Italy to take away from this one, Campbell.
Yeah, the Italians have to be proud with the way that they've shown up here. Every match that they've had against Spain has been incredibly close, and Spain has had some absolute thrashings of other teams throughout here. So the Italians they deserve to be proud of the position that they put themselves in. As a reminder, the Spanish are the current European reigning champions. So it's no surprise that they brought this amount of fight and this amount of skill and skill expression. But the Italians really have learnt a lot, and I think this would be one of the most valuable experiences they can have in this year heading towards Worlds later this year.
Right, as we see the players just exchanging handshakes, high fives, hand slaps. All the team staff on the floor as well. These two teams know each other very well from their European exploits. And a good deal of camaraderie. It was a fantastic contest. The Spanish, once again, as we've seen over the past 5 days, demonstrating that they have so many ways to win. As we look at some of the raw numbers, Spain with 27 made two-point field goal attempts, a slight advantage over Italy there. Both teams, nothing really to speak of from the three-point line. Spain with 2 makes, Italy just the single make. Free throws, as you can see, parity. Both teams fouled just enough to keep things competitive. Spain with a minor rebounding advantage, probably reflected in the score. Although they did turn the ball over a little more than the Italians, who are pretty frugal with it, really, and that's probably indicative of their improvement throughout this event. Get a look in a second at a couple of highlights from the second half. Just seeing those now. Rubio is really solid. Plenty of minutes from the point guard, number 8 for Spain. Carasino carried the Italians throughout the third quarter offensively. Really dragged them back almost single-handedly. You see a couple of his scores there. It's the strangest defensive technique of the night from the Spanish. And Rubio again. Lorenzo was a tower of strength inside. Giaretti had his moments. Damagi solid again. Ortega the difference, the Spanish ability to go to Ortega in isolation and him to be able to create scores where probably nothing existed anywhere else. We see an example of that just here.
I think Ortega's his ability to really control himself. He was sitting on 4 fouls for a lot of that game and never drew that last one, and really had the discipline to stay in it.
Well, it's been a fantastic 5 days, a fitting finale to the event. Kudos to Basketball Australia for organising this. I can't wait for the World Championships. They'll be on in September. A reminder, the repechage tournament's going on at the moment. The Australian women, the Gliders, look like they're comfortably ahead at the moment against Angola. That is the result that should put them through to the top 4 in qualification for Ottawa, of course, where the World Championships will be held for men and for women in September. But until the next time we see you, thanks for tuning in. I'm Brendan Parnell. On behalf of Campbell Fraser, we wish you a good evening or a good afternoon or a good morning, depending on where you are around the world.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.